Hello, everybody. Okay, let's test the audio and make sure you guys can hear me okay before I start going bananas chatting. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I've been sitting here a minute and I was reading through some of the comments about the temperature and how hot it is. So I kind of packed away so many of my things. I'm sort of limited on what I have to wear. So I was like, I just got this sweater and I was like, I'm gonna wear this. And I've got a fire going. I'm wearing a sweater and I don't know how hot it is, but it feels like the face of the sun in here. And I'm baking or cooking hot things. So it's gonna be really fun, I think. Hello. Oh my gosh. I have so been looking forward to this. This has been one of those. I've had like a really, really great week this last like 6 or 7 days. Um, I finally, I'm preparing to move to New York State, and there's so much to do to get your house ready that I don't know, I've never moved this much stuff in my life, and I've never had to pack away a house this size before. So it has just been every single day you're working and you're packing and you're putting things away and you're figuring out what stays, what goes. And it's so crazy because I feel like it took 2 weeks before it actually felt like I was making a real dent. So that's kind of just all I've been doing. And then I want to say about 6 days ago, I hit this moment where everything started looking nice and it felt like, oh, this is really happening. So, let's see. Are you going to visit Sleepy Hollow? For one, I love Sleepy Hollow. I've been there before, and when I'm living right near there, I'm going to go there pretty often, I think. There's so many fun things I feel like I get to do at this new house. So, I'm very, very, very thrilled about that. And by the way, I'm sorry for the wonky time of day. I'm where you kind of generally tend to think the time it is where you are is the time it is everywhere. So when I was like 7 o'clock, I didn't factor in that it's so late for people across the country or across the ocean. So if you stayed up for this, thank you so, so much. I apologize. I will avoid scheduling stuff that creates such a wonky time frame for too many people. Although the funny thing is I'm going to be moving to a place that's 3 hours ahead. So I'm probably going to just start doing that there, thinking like, oh, well, it's this time here. So I'll schedule this for that. Let's see. I'm going to say hello to some people. Hello from California. Hello from California. This is the last live stream I'm ever doing in California. And I don't know what to say. I've been here my whole life, and next week, next Saturday, we are all getting in a car and driving across the United States. So, oh my gosh, we close next Thursday. So what's today? Is today Friday? No. I'm very confused. Today's Thursday? So 1 week from today, we close on this house. So I'm so excited. It's kind of such a weird thing to do because it doesn't feel like a real thing you're actually going to be able to like walk into this house and this house is going to be yours. And I don't know. I've never gotten into a house that I was so insanely crazy for before. And so I'm just beyond excited, and everything has just kind of been falling into place, thankfully. It didn't feel like that for a while, and then all of a sudden right at the tail end of it, it started to. So let's see. Someone said, hello, Christine from blazing heat in Arizona. I can't imagine. I saw somebody say it was 106. I ran down the hill today, down to like the Redlands, California area, and it was so hot. I felt like I was just going to like melt into a puddle. Which, by the way, let's talk about the s'mores a little bit. Oh, Gertie, I've got Gertie here, and she wants to taste them before they're cooked. I've been eating plant-based, mostly vegan almost, for a year and a half now. But every now and again, if I go out somewhere, if someone makes a dinner somewhere, then I'm just going to eat what they have, usually, unless it's generally meat, and then I just don't. Um, but I went to Trader Joe's and I looked at I think they were vegan marshmallows, and they looked a little strange. And so I was like, well, I think I'm just going to set my ethics and principles aside for a single live stream, and we're going to make some s'mores the old fashioned way. But at some point, when I get settled into the new place, I will figure out a plant based marshmallow recipe. And this is chocolate, and I'm sure there's dairy in there. So we'll figure it out. But I'm just trying to give you a full disclosure. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Whole Foods has good vegan marshmallows. Well, I will have to check that out. I don't even know if there's a Whole Foods around here. I live up in the mountains and it's kind of far away from everything. Let's see. Let me think. Oh God. Someone said your marshmallows are made with pork gelatin. Well, we're just going to pretend like that's not real for today. Pigs are one of the number one things that I generally avoid anything to do with, just because they're sweet and cute. And I watched a video where this couple had brought like a pig into their house, and it was like living with them, and it would go fetch them beer from the refrigerator. Like they're very, very smart. And so if you watch a bunch of videos on how smart pigs are, it's like, you would never want to hurt a pig. So I have so many fun things to tell you, by the way. So yesterday was my birthday, and birthdays are sort of really hit or miss, I think, for everybody. Some years they're just kind of duds, and some years they just completely exceed your expectations. And I think with the way that this year has kind of gone for so many people, including myself, it's been a year of hard knocks, I think. And so I went into the birthday thing thinking, I don't even care. I honestly, when someone's like, what do you want for your birthday? And you're like, oh, I don't want anything. But like, the truth is you want something. This year, I genuinely felt like, whatever, if I wake up and I'm alive, I think that's going to be good. So I literally went into the day with no expectations, and my wonderful captive surprised me with some really fun things that I haven't even had a chance to try. So I'm going to be trying that. And then my mom, I went and stopped by my mom's, and she had told me, she's like, I don't know what to get you for your birthday. And I said, old stuff. I like old stuff. You can never, ever go wrong giving me something old. And so I go to her house, and she has a gift for me, and I open it, and it's this bracelet. And I cannot show you close up what it is, but there's this really elaborate floral etching in, I think it's gold, I'm not sure. And it says AMF, which is Addie Mae Foster, which is my great grandmother. And this was, I think, given to her. I'm not sure by who. I didn't get if my mom told me the full story, I don't quite remember. But it's my mother's grandmother. And she got this before she was even married. So it's got her maiden name as the initial. So I don't know. I love stuff like that. I didn't even know my mom had this. So, and now it's mine, and I'm wearing it for this live stream, and then it's going to go in a box, and I'm going to be terrified to ever wear it again. So those are the kinds of gifts that I think are the coolest. And also this crazy hair dryer thing that my very sweet captive got me. I'm really excited to try. Let's see. How are you guys doing, by the way? You kind of get so lost in what you're doing. It's like, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing super well. Let's see. Are you already missing this house? Not at all. I think that happens anytime you get so excited about a move and something, and when you live anywhere long enough, you start focusing on the things that are there's not enough space to do this and there's not enough space to do that. But I did tell my mom today, it's going to be weird when I'm gone and this house is sold to somebody else and somebody else owns it and it's not my house anymore. So I don't know. I think maybe that will hit me later, but the house is looking so beautiful. Basically, what I've been doing is preparing it to stage, and then I'm going to start staging it on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm going to film that. It's going to be really, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not going to be as glamorous, I think, as most of the episodes you guys get or polished, but it's just going to be me showing you how I'm sort of fluffing up and staging the house, getting ready to photograph it. And then I'm going to photograph it and I'll film that process and show you how I do that. And then you guys will get to see the listing for this house before it goes on the market, just so you guys get to have like an insider sort of sneak peek to how it's being dressed and how it's going to look, which I hope you guys like. It should be really fun. And it's really the last thing to do. So like I said, we close next Thursday. Movers come to a storage place and take everything out on Friday. And then we drive away from California on Saturday. So it should be pretty crazy. Let's see. Why did you decide to sell it after all? I just kind of did the math on like how much you'd be spending on maintaining it and fear that somebody would break into it. And the truth is, it's a really, really beautiful house, and just holding on to it for a reason I couldn't really define didn't seem smart, and someone else may be able to really enjoy it. So I just figure I'll pass it on to somebody else and hopefully they'll improve it and make it even better than it is. Are you going to sedate the cats? Yes, we got some cocaine for the cats, and I'm kidding. We're gonna we're gonna go to the vet and ask them. I don't know what they give to cats or dogs. The dog doesn't need it. She's already hopped up on everything. But the cats, one in particular, Sergeant Fuzzy Balls, is going to need something because he is just like a mess of, like, I don't know, nerves and craziness. And so he for sure, Professor Poof, he's not really all there. I don't know where he is right now, but there's not a ton going on behind his really big, giant, pretty eyes. So I just don't anticipate him getting upset about a car ride. So we'll see how this goes. Kitty Xanax. I love that. Let's see. Do you think the cats will enjoy the new house? I hope so. It's one of those. So Sergeant Fuzzy Balls, like I said, he's my little like mentally handicapped kitty who's terrified of everything. And so he is going to hate this at first. And then hopefully he adjusts, and I'm already thinking about more cats. So he's saying no, but I'm saying please. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Let's see. How often do you plan on coming back to California? What about your mom? So this is like a pickle. I don't think I will be coming to California too much unless it's like work related, but my mom, like I'm going to have family come out and see me, and my mom specifically, we're going to set up like a whole room. She's going to have her own bathroom. And I'm going to kind of kidnap her from my dad, and she's going to just come and stay for sort of an indeterminate amount of time. And then whenever we get to the point that we're going to like claw each other's eyes out, we'll just get her a plane ticket and send her on her way. So I told her to watch this, so she just saw me say that. Let's see. What will you miss the most from California? Honestly, more than anything, probably seeing my family as often as I get to. And like, it's sort of all I've ever known my whole life. Anytime I've gone somewhere else, it's just been like a vacation. So it's been really short. I've never lived more than 50 minutes from my parents' house my whole life. So this is going to definitely be like a culture shock as far as that goes. But I just feel like life's an adventure, and you should just, if you have an opportunity to do something crazy and fun and something that sounds like a fantasy, I just think you should. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Would you feel weird selling it to one of your patrons? No, not at all. I have no expectation of what will happen with this house, if it will sell. I know houses have been like allegedly like selling super, super fast. Um, but we'll see. I've never personally sold a house, so we're going to find out how that goes. What about your captive? Is he going to survive? He has to survive because I need him for so many things. And he's so handsome. So I'm just going to have to keep watering him and feeding him and making sure that he does not die on this trip. Let's see. Let me think. Houses in the country are highly desirable by people cooped up. That makes sense. This is I remember when I first moved in here and it felt like, oh my gosh, we've moved to vacation. It feels like a vacation, just going out on the deck and you see just nothing but nature and all sorts of pretty stuff. So it is a very beautiful place to live. I just think I'm ready for my big haunted mansion. Let's see. Any mistakes from your current house that you won't repeat on your new house? That's a really good question. Let me think. I'll tell you. There's one. Oh, my finger got stuck. There is one. And I'm going to cover this in the episode of whatchamacallit. Hold on one second. So, sorry. He was distracting me. So there's one thing I would not do is when we first moved in, we virtually had like no like extra money to do much of anything. And the kitchen had this horrible slate tile and I knocked it out. And I wanted to do like an old fashioned linoleum or like some sort of cool tile in there. And then I went and like looked up the prices for stuff like that. And it was so expensive. And the only alternative I had to really achieve what I wanted was to hand paint the floor in there. So I stripped out the tile that was in there, got it down to the sub wood floor that was very pretty, but it just had some water stains that it just couldn't be salvaged as a wood floor. So I hand painted this really pretty design on it. And it was just one of those things, if it's a room that you use a lot, it doesn't hold up super great. So, and I'm in that kitchen constantly. So if you were a vacation house owner and you were here sometimes, it would hold up 10 years. But because I'm here all the time, I'm shooting stuff in there, I'm moving equipment around, people are sort of tromping in and out, you have to repaint it like almost every year. So that is something I would not do again just because the maintenance is annoying. I love that floor. Thank you so much. It's really pretty. It looks really, really good. It's just, and even as it gets kind of dinged up, it still looks good. But the repainting is just sort of really tedious, but you do what you have to do. Let's see. Is this the first year you won't decorate your parents' house for Halloween? I hate to say this, but I don't think I will be decorating their house anymore because I'm going to have this big crazy house. So I'm going to be decorating that. And you should never say never. So who knows what could happen? Maybe something will draw me back here and I'll do like in 10 years, a big decorating project with it. So we will find out. Let's see. What do you know about the town you are moving to? What kind of information should I share? Because there's so much to say. I don't want to give away too much because there's so many fun things. I'm not going to reveal that yet, but you'll get that information. It will be amazing. Have you always wanted a big creepy house? 100%. I never thought, well, actually, I think I always secretly wanted one, but wasn't really. I have a poof hair on my face. Sorry. When you have a very fuzzy cat, occasionally like a hair will float onto your face without any notice. So anyway, I think at different stages of my life, I wanted a different size house. When I don't know where that hair is, but it's still here. So anyway, when I was very young, I just, I dreamed of like a castle or something big and spooky and eerie, pretty much what I'm kind of getting. And then I think when I got like 20 to 25, I was just thinking if I could just get like a small craftsman, I'd be so happy with that. It would feel amazing to just have something better than an apartment. And then that happened. And then kind of with the success and amazing things that have sort of unfolded for me, realizing that this is a possibility that was like attainable, I was like, okay, that's what I always wanted. That seems the most exciting and fun to me. Yes, cat hair sticks to makeup. It's the worst. I don't know about you guys, but if you ever get like a cat hair in your eye and you're just, oh, it's terrible. It's the bane of my existence. Will you get any new pets? Yes. Don't tell him. I went to, where did I go? I went to Petco, PetSmart yesterday to get some kitty food for the kitties in this house. And then I also feed kitties outside, which by the way, I'm going to have to mention to whoever buys this house that the house comes with a couple feral cats outside that I feed. So anyway, I went and they had cats behind glass, like really cute ones. And I started looking for any of the ones with like that were like the gray tabbies. And I just was like, ah. So I am gonna get another gray tabby just to remind me of my Mr. Biggles. But I think we're gonna wait until we're there because traveling across the country with 4 animals seems like a big enough of a challenge. So feral cats are the best. I want to make friends with them, and they're feral cats. So like I want it to be like this Snow White or whatever, like a fairy tale thing where you go out there. But really the only thing, if you go out there and put food in your hand, the only thing that's going to come and take it out of your hand is a raccoon. So, and they might take your hand with that food. So you have to be a little bit careful. Let's see. I'm probably late, but are you wearing a Trixie Mattel hoodie? I 100% am. So I started watching Juno Birch videos on YouTube, and then it's like the algorithm suggested Trixie Mattel, and I wasn't aware of her. And I started watching her videos, and they make me so happy. So I was just like, if I ever find somebody that like I really love what they're doing and there's a way to support them, like I always try to do that. So anyway, she sells like cute sweatshirts and like some cosmetics and stuff. So I bought some of those and they're really awesome. So, and if you want to have fun, go watch Trixie Mattel videos on YouTube because they will make you feel like the world is going to be okay and everything is beautiful. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Juno. She is so beautiful. Not too many people make me feel like a hideous, gross, I don't know, gargoyle, but she makes me feel kind of ugly. She's so pretty. Let's see. That's how I feel about you. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. Every day can be Halloween. I 100% agree with that. And that's kind of the amazing thing about getting this house is it's going to sort of solidify this like thing I've been building for years now, and it's just going to go so well with it. Let's see. Okay, should we make s'mores? I feel like it's s'mores time. Yes, it is time for s'mores. So, a couple things. Somebody suggested putting peanut butter on it, and I'm just like, I love peanut butter, and I feel like experimenting is kind of what I'm all about. So I've got some peanut butter. I really like peanut butter with nuts. I like lots of crunches and stuff. Everybody's different. Some people like smooth peanut butter. And I have waffle cookies instead of graham crackers. I've got chocolate and the biggest marshmallows you're ever... Freddie, you do not want a marshmallow. Do you want a marshmallow? Here. I don't know if marshmallows are bad for dogs. She doesn't eat anything other than her food. Are you gonna eat? Oh, she's licking it. Okay, this is really funny. I don't feel like that's good for you, so let's just not give you that. Okay. So my captive was good enough to go into the woods and get me a stick because, like I said, nearly all of the useful things are packed away in this house at this point. So we've got a, whatchamacallit, a marshmallow on a stick. We've got a blazing hot fire going on behind me while I'm wearing a blazing hot sweater in a blazing hot room. So let's see. Let's see how this goes. So everybody's a little different. I like to rotate mine around a lot. Woo. It's getting there. Don't want it to burn. Oh my God. I have so much hairspray on if my whole head just goes up in a second. Almost. This is looking good. Almost, almost. Okay, I'm feeling really confident about that. So I'm going to, oh wait, I kind of jumped the gun on this. Let's see. So we're gonna lay that down. I've got a knife, I'm gonna put a little peanut butter right here. Not too much. I'm gonna lay some chocolate on here. And then let's toast this again really quick. We're gonna lay that down and squish. And I like to pull out a little bit of it. And then you have this really perfect looking, okay. Apparently I don't get the first s'more. It's gonna be the captive. So, all right. Okay, go back to your cage. All right, so now that we've made one s'more, let's see, okay. I'm making a really big mess. So let's try one more. And I'm gonna do it in the right order this time, where I put the peanut butter on first, and then the chocolate. Let's see, he disappeared, so I don't get to know like how this worked out. And let's try to make one more. Was it good? Yay! Okay, awesome. This takes a little time to get, well, maybe not that much time. Okay, let's see how this one works out. Squish that down. Okay, let's find out if I'm any good at making s'mores. Okay, the peanut butter is amazing. Like super, super, super good. Oh my gosh. We have salted peanut butter ice cream sandwiches. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing too. Those are big marshmallows. Yes, I went and found like the biggest, most giant ones I could. Okay, that was amazing. Yay! It's always kind of scary when you're making something like that just on camera. Let's see. You're drinking herbal tea instead? Herbal maple tea. That sounds incredible. Let's see. Do we want to do a Q&A really quick before we get into a story that I'm going to tell? Let's see if you guys have any questions, throw them at me and I will try to answer them. And I'm also going to have a little drink of water because it's 1,000 degrees in here right now. Okay. Where do you get your cute pastel pants? I find them on Amazon. They're on, you just look for high-waisted, long pastel pants. Okay. Will you have any special colors in your new house? I have the color scheme for the kitchen is going to be so mind-bogglingly pretty. There's no house or there's no room in this house that has this color scheme, and it's going to be spectacular. So I'm really excited about that. Any hidden cat litter projects? I love that idea. That's the most amazing thing about this, by the way, is that every month gets to be something totally bizarre and different. And I absolutely would love to tackle that. So one day, yes, for sure. Let's see. How do you craft all your floral displays? Would you guys like a floral display episode? It wouldn't, I'm trying to think of a way to make it creepy. And I suppose I could do something like that. And I love doing floral arrangements, but I don't know if you guys would like to see that. I will do that. What were you like when you were younger? Exactly the same. I was telling my mom, I have really essentially been the same exact person since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I've always loved spooky things my whole life. I've loved cats my whole life. I've loved movies my whole life. I've just kind of gotten better and better and better at doing stuff. And like the things that I like just kind of keep getting bigger, but I'm just sort of building off this same exact person inside. Let's see. Were you always crafty in school? Not terribly. Like I was kind of crafty when I was like before I was a teenager, and then I kind of stopped being very crafty, and then it kind of came back to me like I want to say in my late 20s. Let's see. What will be your next sewing project? I am so excited to get back to sewing projects. I have to make a dress form episode. I've been talking about it forever. That has to happen. And then, so I don't know. Soon it is a top priority item for me. Let's see. Did your friend like Alistair's coffin? I think she really liked it. My mom and I went and dropped it off, I think last week, and she was really like moved and loved it. So that went super well. That episode, certain episodes just really, I'm very proud of and I love, and that's one of them. I hope you guys liked it. Can you please do a pumpkin carving craft along? We are doing that. So, but we're going to do it live. Like you just said, a craft along. So yes, in the month of October, we are going to have punch with dry ice, and we're just going to basically have a little pumpkin carving party live here. And I'm going to make sure you guys have like a list of everything you should have. We're going to have spooky music going on. in this creepy haunted mansion I'm going to be living in. And yes, we are going to have a pumpkin carving party. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be really fun. Let's see. I like simplistic pumpkins. I know people go like really bonkers with super elaborate, but I just personally tend to like a traditional looking jack-o'-lantern that has sort of a slightly creepier look than the average. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So it's not going to be a super complicated or hard episode. It's just going to be like we're hanging out eating like candy corn and little baby Snickers and who knows what else. What about a scarecrow craft video? I love that so much. I 1000% want to do that, and that might be like next Halloween. I have something coming up this Halloween. It's kind of a recent development. I can't say too much about it, but you guys are going to love it, and it's a surprise. Let's see. What room are you going to tackle after the kitchen? I don't even know. Like I said, I've never been to this house. So it's just kind of like walking into this whole big new chapter of your life that you don't get any like real preview of. So I don't know. It's just going to kind of be whatever it feels like is the next thing I want to address. I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true. There may be an antique swimming pool in the back that's been covered over for some reason. And if it's possible, I would love to, excavate that and restore it. So if that's a real thing, I don't know. I would be way into doing that. Let's see. Will you be recreating your guest room? You mentioned that before. I actually will be. So the room that's right over here, I love it so much. It's just got this really cool feel to it. And so, yes, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to, every single bedroom in the house, my hope is we'll have a 4-poster canopy bed. And so I'm going to be doing like a multi-part episode of making my own, like actually like carving the whole thing and doing that from scratch. I don't know when I'm doing that. Maybe like, I don't know, winter next year when everything's kind of quieted down. A pool ghost. I would love that. Let's see. Are you taking the owl cupboard? Yes. I went back and forth about leaving all sorts of things. And my mom was like, if you leave that owl cupboard, I'm going to kill you. And because I didn't want to die that day, I agreed that I would take it with me. Okay. I feel like we've been doing this live stream for about 40 minutes. It's time for a spooky story. Are you guys ready for a spooky story? I need to hydrate for it because it's involved. Okay. So, I thought long and hard about, what story am I going to tell? What would everybody has like a bunch of stories. Everyone has their own like experiences and stuff. And I don't want to give away too many of these. I kind of want to stretch them out. And so instead, or in lieu of a ghost story, I'm going to tell you a monster story. This is a true story. This happened to me in this house. And I may have alluded to this before. I don't have a very good memory. So I don't know if I mentioned a little bit of it in the first live stream, but I'm going to flesh out the story. And it's really, really scary. So, this is a mountain area and there's really not a ton of neighbors, and the houses that are around you generally are like vacation homes. So people aren't here all the time and you are somewhat isolated. And it snows like crazy at certain times in the year. It will snow so hard, your car will look like a marshmallow and you can't hardly walk like a few feet out the door. And my captive, so 2 years in a row, my captive has gone on a trip back to see his family in Ohio and left me here by myself with all of our pets. And which is usually fine. I'm okay with that. But something usually happens that's terrible every time he leaves. We have a big snowstorm. So not this winter, but the prior winter, this sort of situation played out. My captive left and went to Ohio. And just, I think the day he flew away, a snowstorm started here. And it was so intense. I want to say there's never been a crazier one here at this house. And so it snowed like absolutely insane, to the point that I couldn't even see my car anymore. And I was just sort of locked inside. And then the power went out. And I was like, okay, well, there's lots of firewood and I'm going to be fine. It's not like a huge big deal, but we have like little like battery pack chargers to charge these, but those run out eventually. And so I was just kind of like, well, I guess this is how I'm going to have to spend however much time. And sometimes it takes them like a few days to get the power back on, because the snow comes down and it weighs down the wires and everything just gets messed up. So I'm here alone. The power's gone out and I heard a weird noise outside. And I was like, oh, I should go investigate that. So I go and I investigate. And what I find is this insanely big set of tracks leading along the side of the house. And I was like, huh. So I took some pictures and I texted them to my captive in Ohio. And he was like, those are huge. I don't know what did those, but let me go and look at the camera. Now, obviously the power's out. So we kind of have to go back and look at the camera and see what was the last thing that the camera captured. And I wait, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something like that. And I get a text from him and he said, stay in the house. There's a mountain lion outside. And I was like, oh my God. And so he looked through the video and there was a gigantic, kind of blondish, orangey looking cat sort of sneaking up the stairs on right here, coming up to the front door. And I had seen those giant tracks outside. And so I was like, oh my God, you don't, and I mean, so obviously, and then I went and looked and there were giant tracks right outside the front door. And I'm thinking, is a mountain lion stalking the house because there's small pets in here and it can tell? So I'm just absolutely having a heart attack thinking this mountain lion is just out there stalking me. And so this is what happens is I reach out to, there's some nature, this was like a year and a half ago, so I don't quite remember what the name was, but there's some forestry service up here that you can send information to. So I sent these pictures to this forestry service and they said, stay in your house. It looks like it's a mountain lion. And the fact that it's sort of like lurking around you, like it could theoretically be it could be pregnant because it had like a really big belly. And they said it could be looking to like have a litter somewhere. So and this is the forestry people. I'm not a forest person. I didn't know anything. I was just like, well, my captive is saying it's a mountain lion. The forestry service is saying it's a mountain lion. I'm having a heart attack. And so the next day the power goes back on and my captive looks on the camera and he said, stay in the house. It's down on the driveway. It's down. It's still there. It's sort of lurking around. So I called the police and I just said, I don't want you to hurt it. I don't want anything bad to happen to it, but I think there's a mountain lion under the deck at my house and I can't leave. And I couldn't leave anyway because the car was snowed in. But like, the idea of like this thing like sort of lurking right here that would, kill one of my animals or something. I was terrified. So the police came out and he had like a rubber, like a rubber gun thing. And I walked out with him and we walked around and I showed him the tracks and he was like, yeah, that's a mountain lion. That's a mountain lion. Um, and he's looking around the deck and he doesn't see anything. And he's like, well, the best I can tell you is just to stay inside. And if you see anything else, call us back. And I'm having an anxiety attack. I'm here by myself. This is terrifying. I can't actually leave because the car can't get dug out. And so I took the pictures he had sent me and I posted them on Instagram. And everybody, like a good amount of people, were like, oh my God, it's a mountain lion. It looked like a mountain lion. And I get a direct message from somebody who said, you know, I showed this to my wife and she's like an animal specialist and she thinks it's a house cat. And I was like, no, the Forestry Service said it was a mountain lion. The police officer said it was a mountain lion. Everyone's telling me it's a mountain lion. And now at this point, I believe it's a mountain lion. So I'm not really listening to this comment. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, I go back and watch the video. I'm like, there's just absolutely no way that's a cat. And then we get some other footage of the cat of this mountain lion running up the stairs right here. And I go out and look and I compare the tracks to what that thing just left. And the tracks were like that big. And so it's a mountain. There's coyotes. There's big sort of stray dogs that kind of run around sometimes. And those tracks that were all over the place were very likely the tracks of a dog. And what really happened was I called the police on a house cat. So that is my monster story or my horror story. And I feel like it's like a shame that I have. And so now this very obese orange tabby cat runs around here all the time. And now we see it all the time and I feed it and we just call it the mountain lion. So that's my horror story for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe it wanted you to adopt it. No, it's a creep. It's not a nice cat. It like gets in fights with other neighborhood cats. It's a beefy cat. It doesn't look like an average orange tabby. It looks like it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger of orange tabby cats. So it is a beef. So let's see. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It's a happy ending. I thought it would be a Bigfoot. Oh my God, I would love a Bigfoot. I love Harry and the Hendersons. It's one of my favorite movies. It would be amazing to like get to hang out with one. Let's see. Okay, yay. That was fun. And I have real stories that I will be spreading out while we do these, but it will be kind of sort of carefully placed so I don't throw out all of my eggs at once. Let's see. My cat was sitting on my chest, listening intensely. Okay, yay. Well, whatchamacallit? So, like I said, this is my last live stream in California. It's the strangest thing I can possibly think of. I'm so excited to go to this house, and so I can kind of give you a little bit of information about what you can expect in case you missed any updates that were coming. What am I doing? So this is our live stream for the month of July. I'm going to film a staging episode. It's going to be rough because, obviously we're missing a lot of stuff, but it's going to be interesting and informative. And I'm going to share that listing with you probably right after we close. So probably I'm thinking Friday next week. I'll post that. And then we are going to hop in this car. We're going to make this really fun road trip across the United States. And we're going to film a whole bunch of it. And we're going to put that together, make that an episode, I think, for YouTube, depending on how it comes out. And then once we're at the new house and we're settled in, I'm going to do a candlelight tour where we walk through the whole house and you get to see all of the exciting, fun things. And I'm probably going to film that at like midnight. So it should be really exciting. If you guys have any last questions for me in California, please feel free to throw them my way. A seance? Totally. We're going to make Ouija boards, all sorts of really, really fun, exciting things. There's so many fun things that we're going to get to do at this house. What day do you think you'll arrive at the new house? I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to leave California, I think, on the 8th, and then however many days it takes to get there. I want it to be a fun trip. I don't want it to be like we're just absolutely tearing across the country as fast as we can. I kind of want to stop and see some fun things that you can see safely from the road. Let's see. We will miss you here in California. I will come back for Dapper Day and fun sorts of things. And when the world returns to something that resembles normal, I can't wait to do like events again where I get to actually see people in person, because it just feels so fun to get to do that. Let's see. What will you miss about your California house? I'm trying to think. Honestly, more than anything, this is the house that I lived in with Biggles for a long time, and that's gonna, I think, be the thing that I miss. What wave when you drive by Iowa? So I'm actually picking up my new car, the car that I'm gonna get, in Des Moines, Iowa. I've been looking for like this one specific car, and so I will be in Des Moines, Iowa at some point. Let's see. What are you the most excited about just in life? Let's see. If I'm going to answer that question, what am I most excited about in life? Kind of just seeing how far I can take this, how good I'm going to get at stuff, because that's kind of the coolest thing about doing what I'm doing is when I go back and look at other work, I get better every year. So I'm very excited to one day see how much better I could possibly get at things. And I am certain I have not created my most amazing thing yet. And so I'm just as excited as you guys are to see what that turns out to be. You and Elvira should get together. I would absolutely love that. Do you guys want to know one of the owners of the house that I'm buying? Her name was, and she was one of the owners in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Her name was, I believe, Elvira Dreisler, which is the coolest thing ever. Let's see. Creepy music box. I would love that. That would be I would like to get into like clock repair too. There's so many fun things to do. We're going to tackle everything eventually. Let's see. Is the car a hearse? I mean, truthfully, any car you can fit a body in is a hearse. So, yes. Let's see. Will all the bedrooms be themed? Totally. I've mentioned before, I'm a huge fan of decorating each room individually. And by the time I'm done with this place, there's going to be secret passageways, hidden rooms, and all sorts of really like elegantly done, but beautiful and spooky mysteries going on inside of it. Is it the car from Christine? That's my dream car. I believe that's a 1957 Plymouth Fury, and it's like $100,000. So I don't think I'll be buying that car anytime soon, but it would be amazing. Let's see. Will you do any light colored rooms like your bedroom or kitchen? Always. I think that's what I love is I like having a balance of, like a room that looks like Crimson Peak and then also a room that looks like Betty Draper's kitchen or something. So I like combining things like that. And also depending on your mood, you spend time in different rooms. So sometimes you need a room that's really bright and cheerful. And sometimes you need a room that just feels like a little like a squirrel cave or something. How many rooms does the new house have? I'm not entirely sure. Someone once said 29, and so we will find out when I get there. Let's see. Are the cats excited? They have no idea. They're just living they're living their best life right now, and they're just about to go on the biggest adventure they ever will. So we'll see. Are there any interesting furniture pieces that you saw in the photos that you're super excited about? Like I mentioned, I'm buying this house fully furnished, and there are, I would say, a handful of things that I'm really excited to see up close. And because I've only seen pictures, it's going to be so exciting to actually gauge the size of these rooms and how much furniture is there. Why did you choose a mystery house purchase? Because I have always loved these horror movies where this family like pulls up in like a station wagon up to this house that they just bought. Apparently, you never know how they bought it and they've never been to it. And all of these terrible things start to unfold. And I wanted that. I feel like, I don't know, there's not enough amazingly fun surprises in life. So if you can manufacture them for yourself, I always feel like you should. Let's see. What state are you moving to? I'm moving to New York to a house kind of near Utica. Poltergeist. Oh my God, I love that movie. You're going to be the contemporary day Sarah Winchester? Oh my God, I hope so. That would be kind of just a dream come true, I think. Are you worried about the state of the house as far as repairs go? Really not at all. Like I grew up in kind of a rundown Victorian and was with my parents helping fix it the whole time. So as far as I'm concerned, there's really nothing that isn't addressable, and the house has been standing since 1866. So I just feel like I'm up for any challenge and I'm going to be like a steward of this house. This house will outlive me by hopefully hundreds of years. And it's just like you're going to be one of the owners of this place. So, with that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, this is the last live stream in California. The next live stream, 1 month from now, we will just have a totally different situation going on. So I cannot wait to see you guys for that. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and let's begin this adventure together.